Hi, this is Aaliyah Swaby, and you're listening to WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from New Haven, Connecticut, and streaming live at www.newhavenindependent.org.
Good morning, New Haven, and welcome back to the Great Give Radiothon 2019. We're going all day, Wednesday and Thursday, to support that time each year when hundreds of New Haven nonprofits who do great work every day come together and raise money together and compete for prizes to make our community stronger. Last year, $1.75 million came in from over 11,000 people in New Haven to support the Great Give, and we're going to beat that this year. So here on WNHH FM, we're visiting all day today and tomorrow with people who do the great work at these organizations so they can tell us why we should give them money. So this hour, if you just get ready, go to thegreatgive.org. Don't forget thegreatgive.org, and look for a group called New Reach. It's run by Kellyanne Day, a regular here on our radio station. She's here this half hour. Kellyanne, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you, Paul.
I'm going to ask you close to the mic. So, Kellyanne, you have an exciting new project I really want to talk to you about that's going might revolutionize the way our society helps homeless women get established.
We hope so. We hope we're going to set a national model that could be replicated around the country.
Cool. So first I'm going to ask you to do is to tell us the poem you brought.
Yep.
Recite a poem to us before you give us the pitch for New Reach.
So when I outreached you, Paul, yesterday to say, what should I prepare? You said that I needed to prepare a poem. So I did. I'm going to do an excerpt by a Vince Suzadal Jr. poem.
What's the name again? Of Vince Suzadal?
Vince Suzadal Jr.
Okay.
Am I too close? Technical difficulty. Is that better? Better? Okay.
All right, so you got Vince's poem here.
Vince's poem. This is just an excerpt of Vince's poem.
Okay.
It's called Humanity. If we don't feel with our hearts, we don't belong. If we don't see as one, the world is wrong. Beyond the wars and the hate and the insanity, we are all connected as humanity. We are the children with cancer who still wears a smile. We are the kid from the projects facing trial. We are the pregnant teen feeling lost and used. We are the elderly man in a home abused. We are the young couple, marriage on the rocks. We are the homeless one in a cardboard box. So when I think about the Great Give and I think about all the great work that nonprofits around New Haven are doing, I think about humanity and I think about our neighbors that are in need around us. And I think it's a real testament to this community's humanity that this event raises so much money to help folks who are in need.
Carmen Burgos says, hello, Kellyanne. Michael and I gave our gift this morning via the Great Gift.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do
Thank
and
you,
everyone
Carmen
at
and
New
Mike.
Reach do for families. Thank you, Carmen, for listening and giving. We want everyone to go to thegreatgive.org and give some money to New Reach. As we get to know, I know over the years you've had your ups and downs, Kellyanne, running New Reach, which operates homeless shelters for women. All right, is it still unmarried women mostly?
So
with children?
Our shelters you don't have to have any legal documents whether you're married or not. Our shelters are for single women who are raising dependent children, as well as
still pregnant women,
as well as pregnant women, and as well as women who are single, usually older, who are suffering from homelessness, who need to be in a more supportive environment.
And besides, I mean, how many facilities do you have? You started with Life Haven in Fairhaven on Ferry Street. How many you got now?
So we have Life Haven and Martha's Place are our 2 shelters, but we also have a number of other housing that we've developed over the years. So we have close to 70 units of affordable supportive housing that we provide to families.
And you have changed with the times. How many years you been involved in this, Kellyanne?
24.
Whoa.
I know.
You started at like 6.
I know. It's really young.
Yeah. And what's been interesting to me as I've watched what you've done is that, first of all, the roots of homelessness might be similar. People lose jobs or hit on hard times for other reasons or mental health problems. But the society changes how we deal with those problems and what's causing people to lose their homes. We had a recession at one point with mortgage problems. Other times it's other opioid crisis, whatever. And that we learn as a society what helps people more become independent and the help they need when. And I've watched as some funding sources dry up, you find other funding sources, and in that process, rethink doing what you do. You talked about building supportive housing, which is a concept that in the last 10, 20 years has taken off, where people who might have mental health problems or addiction or other reasons that they continue to be homeless get subsidized housing, their own apartments in a place where on-call social services are there and people who work with them to keep their lives together. And now you're also part of a citywide effort of other agencies that deal with the homeless, where every day you do intake in one central place where someone needs help and then find the right place for them to go. I got that right?
Yes. So I think what we've learned over the years is 20 years ago, we just provided, as an industry, we just provided shelter for folks in need tonight. Now we have a number of other interventions kind of in our toolbox to assist people. So the two of the newest interventions are diversion from shelter and eviction prevention. So those are interventions
that means someone
that
comes
go
to
upstream.
You and you say, does that mean they need a place to stay? And you're saying maybe you don't need to go to a shelter. We got some other way we can help you stay wherever you are.
Exactly. It's
so
diversion,
what does diversion
right
mean?
at the front door. It's diversion right at the front door from the shelter. So it's folks who come to our site and say, I'm going to be homeless soon. I'm going to be kicked out soon. So that soon could be 7 days. It could be a month. And so our diversion staff work with the individuals and the families to say, what can we do to help you stay where you are to try to avoid that intake into
Is that partly being
shelter?
A counselor who says, well, someone's throwing you out, so maybe we can solve your problem? Is it partly knowing bureaucracies, saying there's this program that gives rental assistance?
It's all of that. It's having staff who are properly trained and supported so that they know what services are out there in the community. It's also having staff that are trained and supported so they know how to help people problem solve. Many of these situations can be resolved without any financial support, which is kind of interesting.
That is interesting. It's not always about money.
It's not always about the money. Sometimes it's really
Can you
just
tell me
about...
a story about that? Tell me one problem that got solved. I'm not asking you for the name of the person.
Yeah. So we had a family who had been spending time saving some money. They were living in the shelter. This is a problem of someone
moving out. How do you save money in the shelter? I had a family member in the shelter. You used to have to sleep on the money because it gets stolen.
Yeah. We don't have a whole lot of theft of money in our shelters, I will have to say. I mean, it happens, but folks have their own room and their keys, so we try to discourage that.
Yeah.
Well, but folks are working and they have bank accounts, they have their own income, and this particular family did not have furniture, and so that was a barrier to them actually moving out of the shelter. And so we were able to help them find furniture
How?
kitchen table, beds, dressers.
Did you go to Free Cycle? Did you go to Craigslist, or did you have donors?
Actually, New Reach has a furniture co-op. That
Oh, what's that?
Our furniture co-op, it's basically one man in a truck. It's Ralph, who's our warehouse manager, and he goes around and picks up throughout Greater New Haven donations of gently used items. And
Yeah,
we
how do
have
people
a small
know-
warehouse.
How do people know to do that?
Word of mouth and on our website, and we advertise that. So many
What a
people.
great idea.
Yeah.
Because when you think
it's
about
great.
if your mission over decades is to prevent or help people move from homelessness, that you're looking at all these ideas that you might not have originally considered about, well, if we had a warehouse of donated furniture, we might help someone move in who might not
Right.
otherwise. Can you give me another diversion story? This is interesting.
Yeah, it's a very small program, but it's a really impactful program, and it's one of those programs that's not funded through any public dollars necessarily. It's all privately driven. So we're not trying to compete with folks like Easter Seals, Goodwill, around some of these. We actually partner with them on some of these events. But yeah, so for folks who are who are in need of a bed for their child, a kitchen table and chair in order to move into an apartment, we're able to fulfill those needs as long as the donations keep coming in and
Well, that's what we're talking about.
The funding comes in so we can support our warehouse.
And that's what we're talking about this hour. Because we're talking
yes.
about the way that if someone right now
Yes,
goes to thegreatgive.org
correct.
and goes to New Reach, whose
Yes.
longtime director Kellyanne Day we're speaking with right now,
Mm.
they can give money so that someone can move into an apartment because they get
can.
donated furniture or get help figuring out how not to lose the home they're in.
They
Or,
can.
God forbid, have a place to stay for a while with their kids or while
Right.
they're pregnant before they can move in somewhere. How many people a year do you guys help?
Just over 4,000
Wow.
throughout our continuum of services. So straight
City
from
of New
eviction
Haven region?
prevention. We're Greater New Haven, and we also have programs in Greater Bridgeport and Danbury
Oh,
as
wow. You're
well.
branching out. So that's another way to stay in business.
Yes, so we need to look at
Evolve or die.
sustainability for the organization. So we've been able to really cut down on any programs that are not core to our mission and focus on those
What
programs.
would be an example of something you cut out?
So unfortunately, we had to cut out our children's program at a Life Haven a couple of years ago.
What was the program?
It was a part-time program after school for children who were staying in the shelter. And unfortunately, that funding just needed to go to operations such as the heat, the insurance, ensuring that we have staff 24/7 for safety reasons. And certainly this year it wasn't that big of an issue, but snow removal can be costly for us when you have facilities.
Sure. And well, it's great that you're able to stay in the work. So one thing you're doing new.
Yes.
Very exciting. So 130 homeless women
Yes,
are going to be in a program you're starting with the Yale New Haven Hospital.
correct.
And you're getting, is it $3 million from the federal government?
Over the course of 5 years, yes.
Okay. Which agency of federal government? I hadn't recognized that name.
Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration.
Okay.
Yes. So
Here we
that,
call it DEMIS in the state.
yes, feds call it SAMHSA.
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 Okay.
Yes.
Because there's a character in fiction, Franz Kafka, Gregor Samsa, right? He's the one that turns into the cockroach. Okay, that's an aside. So you just
That's for another show.
Okay. So you just got this money.
Yes.
Over $3 million. You hooked up
Yes.
with Yale New Haven Hospital. You're going to help 130 women, homeless women. I believe a lot of them with substance abuse problems, moving from homelessness.
So the population is women who have co-occurring disorders.
What
So
does that mean?
mental health and substance use disorders.
Isn't that like a large Venn diagram overlap? Aren't so many people with drug addiction have mental health disorders? Isn't it almost like that's what it is?
Yeah, you could do a whole nother show on that conversation as well. Do folks start substances in order to self-medicate their mental health issues,
Or are they
vice
creating
versa?
a mental health problem by
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's a level that we're not getting into with this grant. We're simply working with folks who are already there, have found themselves homeless with a co-occurring disorder that causes them to be hospitalized multiple times. So the population is for women who are multiple users of the Yale New Haven Emergency Department.
Oh, that's how Yale New Haven got in.
Yes.
So that's one big problem is
Yes.
that you wait such a long time to get care at the
Yes.
emergency room, unless you're like Cold Blue or something, because people use it because they don't have other health care. They don't know where else to go, correct? Am I right
Correct.
about that?
Correct. And that's expensive for us, the taxpayers, if folks don't have insurance. It's also expensive for the insurance companies if they do. And so we're able to provide stable housing, get them into stable housing and in-home supports, not unlike supportive housing, and ensure that we are connecting folks with existing services so that they're not using the ER as their primary
So what's different
care.
about this, given that supporting housing exists, is this specifically finding a group of people who are falling through the cracks because they're at the emergency room?
It is specific to a group of people. I also think that the return on this investment could be much larger, especially for women who may be in need of reuniting with their children and ensuring that that cycle does not continue.
And are you making use of the expertise they have at Yale? Yale New Haven Hospital is very linked up with the Yale Medical School, some of the same doctors. Are you getting doctors and research involved in your program?
We do have a research component to this program. It's with the Bassick Center. Ellen Bassick, who's a longtime researcher on families and women who have been homeless. She's out of Boston, actually.
Okay.
But I think what's unique about this is the strong partnership with Yale and the setup of our services. So we have hired social workers and a peer, so someone with lived experience who is going right into the emergency department. So our staff are based right in the emergency department and are working
So every
hand in
night you
glove.
got somebody there?
Every day we have somebody there working hand in glove. The social workers over at the hospital and our social workers and peer are working.
How many hours a day are you over there?
We're over there 40 plus hours in total.
And
for
they get
this.
called in overnight?
We get called
Because don't
in.
a lot of people come at night?
They do, but we'll typically get called in the morning. It's not like we're providing an emergency triage for
Gotcha.
folks.
So they're there for a while and they say,
Right.
we don't want you to have to keep coming back.
So they're not going to call us overnight for an emergency. They would probably call us if one of our existing clients were to show up. That I think we'd want to know that. So we have on call, but we're not stationed there 24/7.
And Kellyanne, these 130 women, are they at one time or over the 3 years?
Over 3 years.
So it's usually around 10 or 20?
We already maxed out in the first 3-4 months.
Wow.
Starting the program, we started in January, so we're already maxed out.
What's
at
maxed
this
out?
moment? I think we have 25 or 30 at this point.
This
but
sounds
these
like
are
such a
high
great idea.
acuity. These are high acuity folks who need a lot of attention in order, especially up front, to try to stabilize, so that hopefully later on they won't need quite as much services.
And we're talking to Kellyanne Day, who's been running New Reach for 24 years.
I know.
One of the great institutions in town, helping people who are facing homelessness, women who are facing homelessness.
And families.
And
Mhm.
families. And we're talking about that on the Great Give Radiothon at WNHH-FM 103.5, live streamed at newhavenindependent.org. We're asking everyone today, while we visit with people who do great work in New Haven, we're all trying to raise money for 406 nonprofits in town. You don't need to give to all 406 that you're welcome to. You're going to hear about what great work they do. In this half hour, we're asking you to go to thegreatgive.org. Don't forget thegreatgive.org. And then look up New Reach, which Kellyanne's telling us about, and all the great uses your money goes to if you go there. And you can donate some money now and help them qualify for prizes and do more of this good work. Can you tell me about a particular person who's been helped in the first 3 months of this project?
I can't tell you about a particular person in this project, but I can tell you about a woman who had a similar experience working with New Reach, but had co-occurring disorders and was homeless, who lost her child after seeing a traumatic incident in front of her involving a family member,
Ooh.
and became homeless, living on the streets.
Lost child, I mean the child died or she had
Died.
custody? Oh, my God.
Died, and really some serious trauma that led her to be unable to take care of her child.
She had another child?
She had another child, her son, and she was living on the street. She was hiding her clothes in bags in the bushes. She was very ill. She got down to the low 90s in her weight, and she went into the hospital, and they said, you need treatment or you will die. And she contemplated just going back
How
out
old
on the
was she?
streets and dying. I think she was in her 20s at the time.
Wow.
And so
Must have been the guilt of the mother.
she
seeing-
did go back inside, and she received help. And so fast forward 10 years, and she's now our peer in this new program, the ICP program. And she has custody back of her son, has raised her son. She went through our shelters as well as our supportive housing program. And she's one of our biggest advocates.
That's so interesting about a lot of
and
people
success
come out
story.
the other side of mental health or drug addiction, homelessness, that one part of the recovery involves using what they've learned to help somebody else.
Absolutely.
There seems some about human nature in that.
Giving back. It's also really it's empowering for her to be able to say, I did this and I know how you feel and I'm here to help you do this. You can do this too. It's always better to be able to talk to somebody who can understand and relate to what you're going through.
Kelly, how do you keep it fresh? 24 years later, dealing with what can be very grueling work, discouraging at times. It's not like homelessness goes away. What? How do you keep it fresh?
So one of the things that we do, Paul, at the organization is when we meet as staff in team meetings or our all staff is we have a moment for mission at every meeting
Interesting.
where we talk and the staff shares their moments for mission. And what's really, really uplifting is when they shout out each other for helping a client working together. So that teamwork, they really appreciate the people that they're working with. And when they talk about their clients who succeeded, and for a client to succeed, it could be anything. It could be someone who gets a job. It could be someone who gets an apartment. It could be someone who's reunited with their children.
Why we do it.
It's why we do it. We appreciate that work, and it's really important to share that with the staff because it's hard work. There's some very depressing stories and some challenges, but there are also some amazing success stories.
And you got to hold on to
We
those.
have to focus on those. We have to focus on those positive successes
because it's real
and lift
data.
each other up.
It's real information that someone's life
It's
does
real.
turn around. You can make
It's
a
real.
difference.
It's amazing to see our warehouse manager, Ralph, tear up when he talks about delivering a bed to a 3-year-old, who was living on the floor, and he's got the whole room in tears when we do that. So
And
that's how we keep it. That's how we keep it focused on mission, but also on a positive note.
Is there a religious or spiritual source to your approach? I hear moment of mission. I'm thinking that sounds a little bit religious. Do you come at this out of a religious tradition or faith?
We do not actually.
I mean, you personally.
Me personally, yeah. I for me, it is. It's there's a part of faith in it for me. I think that I'm committed to my faith. I belong to the Spring Glen Church, which is also a big supporter.
Oh, you live in Hampton?
I don't live in Hampden, but I used to.
You schlep
But
up here still?
I still go
Okay.
to the Spring Glen Church, and just their community giving and their interest in the community just touches me, and it's something that I believe strongly in, and I want to ensure that my kids believe strongly in that too, and we're doing as much as we can.
Well,
But
you
we're a not faith-based organization,
Right. And you're showing it through your work
Yes.
at New Reach and your staff every day,
Yes.
helping women and families struggling with homelessness and potential homelessness. Thanks for the great
Yes.
work you do, Kellyanne.
Thanks, Paul, for having me.
Thanks for coming here. Tell us about it. I love when you come on, and good luck
Thank you.
with that $3 million+
Thank you.
that you're working with the Only Haven Hospital to help.
Thank you.
homeless
Yes,
women.
I would love to come back in the future and perhaps even bring one of our success stories with me.
Open invitation.
Great.
Okay, everyone, we're doing the Great Give Radiothon on WNHH-FM. We're talking to people who do the great work in our community. And you're going to hear next up after a break from the Interfaith Voluntary Caregivers. We just heard you still got time this half hour and actually the next 24 hours plus to go to thegreatgive.org. Give a little love to New Reach. We're going to hear the Afro-Semitic Experience performing I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free. This is Paul Bass. I'll get you on the rebound at 11:30 as we keep the Radiothon going.